We are seeing some very interesting things happening in Asia that all have one common denominator: China and its communist rule. We see recent protests in Hong Kong estimated to include hundreds of thousands of people, some say as high as 1 million. Considering the population of Hong Kong is just over 7 million, that means 1/7 of the population is standing up for democracy, freedom, self-determination. Their fight is about China trying to influence and interfere with Hong Kong and implementing a law that would allow China to extradite people from Hong Kong into mainland China. You will notice much of the protesters are Christians. In China, they have been recently cracking down on the underground Christian churches in mainland China. Hong Kong has had an explosion of millennial Christians that are not afraid to stand up for their freedom, which to me, this is incredibly admirable. In the same way, Burma, inspired by China, has used and manipulated the NCA to get rid of ethnic people in Burma. China is playing a similar game with Hong Kong. The communist China regime co-opted the mayor of Hong Kong, some say with bribes, some say with threats, and either way wanted the mayor to pass a law that would allow China to extradite people from Hong Kong into mainland China. Many believe this is related to China's crackdown on the underground Christian church and their networks that are in Hong Kong. For example, a few years ago, a friend and I smuggled Bibles into China, and while there, we quickly realized the amazing work that God was doing with the underground church and those in Hong Kong, those Christians that were supporting them. This tact to co-opt the mayor of Hong Kong is similar to how Burma co-opts some ethnic leaders with lucrative business deals to force the NCA on their people. China also continues to do everything to undermine North Korea as President Trump tries to influence its regime into free and democratic Western systems of governance. China has its grip in the region to make sure its communist grasp does not lose its grip on the countries of Asia. We also see China emboldening the corrupt and brutal Burma regime that has been oppressing our amazing ethnic people of the Burma Thai region, while it also reaps economic benefits from Burma with rare earth and other resources and so much more. Most recently, we see how Burma mirrors the tactics of the China communist regime, and it's trying to squash any effort by anyone to bring freedom and self-determination to the region. The corrupt and brutal Burma army has co-opted ethnic leaders through lucrative business deals so that they can control some of the ethnic leaders, stealing their loyalty that they should have for their people, and instead giving it to their co-opted loyalty for the Burma generals and the NLD. Consider the recent Martyr Day celebrations around the world from our incredible Karen. The Burma regime, along with the co-opted NLD, made it clear it would criminalize the term Martyr Day, which celebrates their president, Sabauji, who Burma had killed, and is trying now to prosecute 3 courageous Karen for holding a Martyr Day celebration in Rangoon. And last year, they prosecuted 5 courageous Karen for holding a celebration in Katule. The NCA, Nationwide Ceasefire Agreement, is the failed, fraudulent agreement made between ethnic groups and the corrupt Burma generals. Yet the NCA ties the hands of the ethnic people while empowers Burma to steal land, disarm security forces, and shield them from prosecution of the corrupt and brutal Burma generals by the International Criminal Courts for genocide and human rights violations. Of course, China and Russia cover for the corrupt and brutal Burma regime by vetoing any action by the UN at the Security Council. Just like China co-opted the mayor of Hong Kong, Burma co-opted some ethnic leaders in the same way, using them to force the NCA on their people. Lastly, while Karen around the world have condemned the NCA, the top 2 KNU leaders just recently reaffirmed their commitment to the corrupt and brutal Burma generals to abide by the NCA while their people continue to suffer under its provisions. The time is now for leaders to recognize that the next generation understands the critical need for freedom and self-determination. I believe wholeheartedly in our future generation and have confidence in their ability to stand up for their people. My prayer is that those co-opted leaders would have their hearts pierced, ever so harsh, will see that they should resign if they will not stand for their people, and let someone else take charge that will stand up for their people. Those complicit with the corrupt and brutal Burma regime, they will pay a high price for betraying their people. God will not allow you to escape without paying dearly. But if you change and turn away, having loyalty to the Burma regime and taking that loyalty and giving it back to your Karen people, and turn your hearts back to your people, God will restore you and your people will forgive you. The time is now to make a decision. To our future generation, let the young people of Hong Kong be an amazing example as they courageously and humbly stand up for freedom and self-determination. May we keep them in prayer as they stand up to the communist China regime, and may we pray for ethnic leaders to stand as one against the corrupt and brutal Burma regime that seeks to rid that region of our most precious people.